Kia ora, talofa lava, and Pacific greetings. For longer, the Voyage program aims to communicate relevant information to generate interest and raise awareness within the Pacific communities, encourage passion for education, business ventures, understanding social and economic issues impacting our communities. Most of all, the importance of collective relationships within New Zealand to achieve economic prosperity. This show was made possible by Foundation North, Vuxit and Porridge Civil Engineering, the Voyage Media Limited and Face TV. O leo tū leo le neipolo kalame, pa i o le tātou tunu, ina ia whailoa, whaamalamalama, malongo pui ali i waenga tau o le nunofo ai le nei tunu. Ia whai mata iala e te tala ai le tātou wa ai leo te lenga, ai leo le whaapu mo. A malamalama lo utou mamalu, e le uma le fetu leni mai o manatu, ma mawhauwhaunga le lei, e mawhai ai on tātou whaatinoina tu langa tālwhenga le lei, mo le tamau ainga o tātou tangata nuu Samoa ma le Pasifika i Aotearoa nei. Our guests in the studio today are Vineula Ahokava and Tofilau Esther Tofilau Tevanga. Vineula Ahokava of Tongan descent is a real estate agent in South Auckland, Manukau City. As a local resident of Mangere for over 20 years, Vine has extensive knowledge of the area and is actively involved in the community through her past career in social work. Tofilau Esther Tofilau Tevanga, a New Zealand-born Samoan, brought up in central Auckland, a mother, a grandmother, a finance broker, a business owner, and a community leader, also a board member of ASA Foundation. She is also a president of IFBB New Zealand Bodybuilding. Welcome to our program, ladies. Malo lele.
Malo lele Wellington, and malo aupito. Ko kuhingoa whatuloa pe kai ngatonga kai atape ka te au ke whakahoka toki ngoa ko hingoa ko Vineula o api Ahokava pe au ko whakaunga tā maki e kau taha whakatau api ko i real estate remix revolution i Manukau City.
Yeah, whatalo whatu. Welcome, lau whionga le tōtoli, Tofilau, Esther Tofilau. Welcome to our program.
Saro whalawa, malo soifua langi mā. Ilo sunga fata, baro lava soifua.
So let's get on with our discussion about your roles in the Pacific communities and also in your place of work. Well, let's start with Vineula. What do you do and where do you work?
Well, thank you, Wellington. I work for a real estate agencies called Remix Revolution, and it's one of the biggest real estate agency in, I would say, Auckland at the moment. This agency from USA, and it's huge, it's global internationally. So it's really good to know that it's not only focusing in our community, but you can go and travel further globally with this opportunity from real estate, Remix Revolution.
What makes you work in the real estate the industry?
Thank you, Wellington. Well, my background is you know that from social work perspective. So I work a lot with people in our community, and it's one thing that I love about it is that I help them make that difference in their lives. So many of our people suffering and not knowing where they're going, especially here in this country. So that's where I was. I enjoy helping them. So coming to real estate, I thought it will be different areas of me as a social worker going into real estate. But I didn't realize that you're dealing with people again. So my role there, it's helping people that wanted to get into their first home, buying a home first time, and also people that want a good price, marketing their property, and any real estate needs. So I'm there to help our people.
Tofilau, it seems that you two are working, you know, helping each other in your. What's your what would you bring into the community from where you are as a finance broker and also you're a business owner, you're a community leader. What did you bring into our people?
Thank you, Whawhatai Whata. My contribution here in terms of working collaboration with REMAX is my background is within finance and over 30 years in the industry. So with part and parcel with finance is property. So this is where we thought it would be great in being Pacific Island to be able to contribute our expertise in that field, as well as how to assist our Pacific people into their first homes.
You were a resident of Mangere for 20 years.
Yes.
How much, you have very extensive knowledge of the community at large. How much did you bring into the role as a real estate agent?
For myself, I think it's individually, it's up to a person like myself. When I do work with our people, I do my best, 100% or even over 100%. If I look back at my social work areas, you always go beyond that to help a family, to bring our families together. So that's exactly what I do apply, what I used to do.
You bring into the role as a real estate person.
Real estate. So it's something that made me realize you're not only buying or helping a family to buy a house or helping a family to sell their property, but you're also helping people to realize and educating them. Because what I found that so many of our people not educated towards, they don't even know what real estate means. They don't even know the whole process. What's to protect them when you get in to buy a property. So it's big responsibility for me as a Pacific Islanders agents. It just put it on me. So I go further beyond that, just to help our people.
Te lelo sila fia tofi lau I le tūlanga fo I le whatawina o whale ma maota ma lawa e le ngatu fo I lea o le tele le teimi o e ngalue I lau lawa business o mael teimi le nei. What makes you passionate about helping out and assisting Pacific people in the area of real estate?
Well, I think a lot of our dreams, our Pacific people and our forefathers when we came to the shore is the big dream to be homeowners. And that dream is sometimes, it feels like it's a hard reality to actually reach. But I think having to work with people like ourselves that are expertise in this area, that will be able to assist our people to getting into their first homes. And as Veniula has alerted that, a lot of it is education. A lot of our people that have moved here from the 60s, they own their own homes. So how do they utilise and maybe capitalise on investments using their property rather than just coming to us finance companies to actually do loans, top-ups on their property, but really look at building the generation wealth into investments for their grandchildren, great-grandchildren. So in that space, I feel that we have a lot to contribute and working together with the various industry, because I guess as Pacific Islanders, there's always whaalawe-laves, there's always needs for loans and so forth, but education in that space, but more so is the reality of actually achieving that dream is to be a homeowner.
So it's all about serving our people to own their own homes.
Absolutely.
After migrations here way back in the 40s. So it's about you did mention about the generational changes in terms of owning homes and making sure that we have the homes for our people. That's the code for any Kiwi, to own a home.
Yeah. Absolutely, and I think the difference, point of difference with REMAX, I've recently come in to contact with Veniula and also working with Don Ha, is the projects that they have. And you look at what is the point of difference with a lot of real estate agents out there. This is the point of difference, is the projects that they have, and also working together to assist a lot of our people into their first home. And I think that's wonderful to be able to work with the various different agencies, whether it's managing of properties, whether it's real estate, whether it's finance, because they all go part and parcel to actually achieving that dream is to getting our people into their first homes.
Sa mo malau tapu inga o le taua ka luenga o lo whenga iei tofi lau ma vine ula. O le tapenaina ma le fesoasoani ina ia maua se whale nofo mau mo i tātou. Ia mai se lava wa loa tausanga o a whio ia maalala i New Zealand nei. O le aulo rava lea. O so stasi lava e se ainga i New Zealand ia maua so lātou whale nofo mau. Ia mai se lava mo au ngā tupulanga o mua o whanau ma lātou whanau. O le tāua, o le maua se nofoanga, o se whale e whamautu i le ainga. Vine is a specialist in first home buyers. Vine will take good care of you in addressing common questions such as when is a good time to buy? Where should I buy? How can I really make sure I am getting the right home for my needs? These are the questions she can help you answer. What is a good time to buy? Vine.
Oh wow, awesome! This is an awesome time to buy. As known as real estate agencies, it's like it's buyer's market. So if you see the difference that the market is going down, and everyone's so many buyers out there. They wants to buy, and what I found from my experience that so many buyers become picky themselves, but it's all about, especially from our people, it's all about educating them, especially with first home buyers. You can't expect to buy, let's say, a castle on your first home, right? You have to start from there, because that's what I found from our people. They exactly
to walk first before
exactly they crawl, and we have to crawl and walk, but what I found from our people, so many of them, they just stuck there in the market. They just sit there and wait to get their money, save up so they can have something nicer. And that's another thing that we can work together, mate, with Esther, especially she's in the community. We need to educate them. Your first home is not going to give you what you wanted for your first home.
I think Tofilau, 80%, probably 80% of our Pacific communities live in Manukau City or South Auckland. How important we get into our own homes in terms of buying that first home, as Vineula was alluding to?
As I mentioned earlier, Fata, it is actually one major dream that our people come here is actually to be homeowners and not just tenants. And as we know that a lot of the tenants that actually pay rent, it's about the same amount that they'll pay for a mortgage. But it's just that initial how to get in, how to get the deposit, working in with the banks, but also from a finance perspective is actually to ensure that your credit is clean. So you'll be able to get that approval to get you into the first home. So a lot of that is actually started from grassroots education, that finance literacy to assist our people in how to get into their first homes. And I guess, I was born and bred in Kingsland. If I knew what I know now, we wouldn't have sold our house in Kingsland, in First Avenue, which is well over $1 million. But, like anything, as they say in real estate, it's all about location, location, location. So with that, the landscape's changed here in New Zealand, but it's never too late to achieve that goal and to assist our people getting into their first homes.
I think we need to speak about educating our people. It's an area that it's about knowing how to spend, how to save the money, and how to spend their money, and how to save the deposit. Can you elaborate on that in terms of, because we all wanted to buy homes, but you also mentioned earlier on about other things, whalavelave, and how to save.
Well, with savings, I guess a lot of our people is out to minimise our expense and what we give to whaalawalaves. Whaalawalaves as an islander will always be there.
It's an ongoing
and it's an ongoing thing. But, there is no law book in Samoa to say the minimum for a funeral you have to give 1,000. So it's up to us to really minimise and look at that, because the bigger goal is the future. Why did we come to New Zealand? We came to this country to actually prosper. So with the organisation that I'm actually a board member with, ASA Foundation, we are here to actually pave that way. And ASA is a Samoan word for paving the way to assist a lot of our people in the community to reach such goals as owning their own homes.
O le whātawina o se whale mo le ainga. O le ngā luenga nā o lo ngā lue ia tofi lau esta, ia mai se fo I vine ula. I le tūlanga o le talanoa, ma soa lau pule, ia ma tātou umalawa, mātua, ta māmal tina o alam whanau. I le tūlanga ina ia mwhena maua o le miti lava lea, ina ia maua se whale lelei ia mō tātou ainga. Tātou tue talanoa, pia mai ale mālolonga pupu. We'll talk after the break. Welcome back to our program. This show makes possible by Foundation North and Wuxit and Borage Engineering Company Limited. Outside of real estate, Vineula takes pride in giving back to the community. As a proud Tongan, Kiwi and mother of 5 children and 3 grandsons, Vine knows all about putting family first and is very approachable and listens to all your concerns. She loves making a difference in people's lives and is well recommended by all her clients. Let's talk about your discussion with a Tongan or Samoan or Niuean or Cook Island family around buying a home. What do you talk about?
Well, usually the first approach that I would, just to ask them if they're renting or not. So that's the things that's the first things that I will look at. So if I found out they are renting, then that's when I do my approach in regarding own your own homes. So the first, the process is to go from there to finance, to a mortgage broker.
So what's the reaction like when you say, hey, you don't have to rent for how many years that you have been renting? What's the reaction?
Well, they kind of like of surprised, there's how are we going to own our own homes? So what I found that so many families out there, start talking to a few churches, the Tongan churches, they know nothing about the Kiwi savers. They can actually buy a property with their Kiwi savers. So once you go through, you said, have you got a Kiwi saver? Are you working full time? And then once they say, yes, we're working full-time, how many full-time in your families? Maybe something that I can help you, if you can help me. So it's more like asking them, help you, so I can help, I'll help you if you can help me. So you have to provide me all the questions that I'm asking them. So once they know, so we can buy it with our Kiwi savers. So then you go through the whole process. So you have to sit there and explain how you buy it, and this is what. So you make sure that you're gonna be beside them right through from the beginning until they settle in. That's what our people needs to know. They want to walk with them until they settle into a home.
Tofilo, is that dream of owning a home, or Samoan, or Tongan, Niuean family, is that dream still burning in there, owning a home?
I hope so. I know a lot of people, that's their first initial is to come to New Zealand, buy their own home, have a good job, and as we know that it's the reality how things are a lot different now since way back then, and it's a lot harder. But I guess just connecting with our own Pacific people that specialise in the fields of finance, in the fields of real estate, to actually make it easier for them to understand, because there's always the various barriers. They don't know what they don't know until we actually, come across them and educate them. Well, this is how you can do it, because it's very scary for a lot of our people when they go to banks, applying for a bank. So, but where they have someone they can trust, someone that speaks their mother tongue, makes them feel comfortable. Like, okay, I know your situation, and being an islander as well, we know how it is. So we know the best way and best suited for them to approach, for them to ensure it's going to be approval from the lender's end for them to, so helping them to reach their goal.
With your meeting or discussion with the family, with a Pacific Island family, is it just between the parents, or do they have any grown-up children within the dialogue, the conversation, in terms, especially if a family of 20 plus or 30 plus age group, have they been part of this discussion, to help mom and dad who came here 30 years ago, still renting?
I think it's really important that, for me, we'll bring the whole family together. It's all about together. For us islanders, we do things together. Like you mentioned before, whaalave or for us Tongan, kavenga. It has to be the whole family. When there is a say, when you marry that family, you not only marry your husband or your wife, you marry the whole
family. Yeah.
Whole family. And that's the idea that bringing, we are people that we're working together, and that's where I take the idea with me when I approach our family. Not only mum and dad, but children has to come together and help each other to make things happen. So I'm always encouraged them. Even mum and dads want to buy a property, but it will be nice to have all of the children there. And then sometimes mum and dads, they don't really understand the whole thing, but the children are there to help mum and dads if they can't get the message through.
Ole tā ua foi lea, ole tā boinga, ma ole tau mawhai ina ia fo ia whawhita uli o ese mai lea whale, toi sa ili fo isisi whale, e pe ole nofo mautotongi, ole rent. Ole tūlanga foi lea, ole ngā luenga, ole whenga ingai ma vine ula, ma tofi lau. Ina ia mawhai ona whaulu whale i langona, ole pa ia, ole tātou tunu ma tangata Pasifika, Samoa, Tonga, Fiti niwe. Ole tā ua, ole iai lava o lau mauta ma lau lawa. Awa ole se leni o lo totongi i lau whale mautotongi le iai nei. E a ngai mō le tangata e ana le whale, e pe a ngai fo le malo. A ole totongi, ole mō kesi e po ole tupe, e totongi ana i le whale tupe. O ila le muli ane, ole a seta le a oe, ma le ainga. O le ali fini ngalo le tua, e pe la whatitainga, wa loa tau sanga na fio mai nei, malanga mai mātua. E le fwini tā ua e tofi lau, e sili tā ua, malanga mai sa lalam papa au i no fuanga sa tau ngō fie lata i le tāulanga. E pita iane, na iei fuanga nai mātua na vai tau. Nei vai taimi, ua mātutua alam whanau, o atama mai, o tāle nia, le poto mai le atua, e le o le taimi le nei e mawhai ai ona sa whai lalo, ma tala noa, ma soala, pule pe on whasoa mai a vine ula ma tofi lau. E le tūlanga a whape ua luas fultau sanga taluai, e le iai se whale nofo mau, e le o le taimi le nei. Wa le ua iai le whanau, o mai le tua le tāleni e ala ia o onga. E le o le mafuanga na leina malanga mai. Ma tuua o tātou a inga, ma nuu mala alwhanga, e tainane le e kāle sia ma le tunu. A e whai mai le malanga i nei, ina ia nofo le lei, maua le mafutanga ma ainga, maua ta ma ainga, a mai se ngā luenga, ia mai se lava i tu tonu o tātou ainga. Tofi lau, you did mention earlier on about let's bring your perspective around mortgage broker. You did mention earlier on about living in Kingsland way back, probably 30 years ago. How important is the now generations, to stand up and part of mom and dad, to drive into a home for the family? I mean, way back, mom and dad, they just came here, work. Now, the 30, the 40, the 50-year-old or the 20-plus-year-old, they now have got good careers. Isn't it the right time for this particular family to come together and share their resources, share their money to get into a home?
Absolutely. I think that's what it's all about, is actually, like I mentioned, generation growth. When they pass on, they've left something, that there's a legacy there, that they have a home. And like anything, it's the malta, it's the whale that we all come together as a whānau, as a family. So it's one of the major goals for a lot of us Pacific Island people, is to be our home owners. And with that asset, there's so much they can do with it, generate extra income for the family, and which is a lot of people, and that's what we need to educate our people, is how to utilise what they have for something better. rather than just doing the loans for a whaalawe. So with that, I think it's that's the new dimension in where we are today, is trying to assist more of our Pacific people to be homeowners, as we see that there's a lack of homes, you know, with the government, the current government at the moment that are trying to build the extra homes and need. So, you know, hopefully that will come through for them, because there's such a large demand in the sector within property.
Tā ua ia o le pensau no la o le tele o la vanoa I le mau ai e moni lava tau tāwhale au ki lani le nei vai tau. A o loo iai fo I awa noa mwhai na maua whale le lei, pēr wha pē sa whailalo matala noa. Ai mai se lava, vine ula ma tofi lau, o la ngā luenga I o loo whatino ia so uma lava o le soifuanga. Ia walif soso ni atu I o tātou ainga. Let's go back to, say, after the dialogue, the conversation with the family, you did a bit of education within the family in terms of convincing them, in approaching them. Say, what's next?
Okay, what's next? Family will be now agree that they were going to go through the process of trying to buy their first home. So from that point, I will have to do a referring to the finance side. Okay. So finance side, it's not my field. That's not.
That's where she comes in. Eh?
That's where, yeah, Esther. That's her side will comes in. So I will leave everything there. So we sort of follow up and keep updating. And then from there, once they got the pre-approval, and that's when I come in. So my role is to make sure that I will send all the properties according to what the family wants, and also mainly for the range or the pre-approval amount that the bank will lending them. So we're going to go through viewing and all that. And if they find something that they like, then I will negotiate. So,
in terms of the finance, Tofilau, say, let's just briefly, our time is running out, briefly about where you come in terms of, you said banks, people are scared because of interest rates and stuff. I mean, going to see your own people, the people, your Tongan and Samoan, like what you did, what's the word around there?
I think it's screening where they're at. Every family has different circumstances. But
like incomes and... Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And we look at the budget. You know, it all comes down to affordability, ensuring that the house suits them. It's not you know, like as Viniula mentioned earlier, you've got to learn how to crawl before you can get up and run. So, you know, the good old classic 1 to 2 bedroom to start before the big ideal home, that the dream home that everyone wants. So with that, it's sitting down and knowing what their needs are and looking for the suitable package and the steps on how they can actually achieve and get into that home.
I think this discussion needs to be continued next time, but what would you like to say to the Tongan and the Pacific communities regarding real estate?
For me, Wellington Tony, all I want to say for our people out there, if you're paying rent, I want you to sit back and see how long have you been paying rent. And if you can see, if you're paying rent for $500, for instance, work out how much money you put in paying rents for the last 20 years or 30 years ago. So if you look at put that 30 years of rent in your bucket, where are you going to be today? That's what I want to leave it with our people, because I'm pretty sure they will think hard. Renting is not what you want. You know, owning your own house, no matter what, that's what. So we'll be here waiting for you. If you want our help, we're going to assist you right through from the beginning until you move.
Esther, your final word, Esther, about we leave our home 50 years ago and come here to make a name for ourselves. What's your advice to our people regarding walking into a home before the end of this year?
Well, you know, my advice is do something that your future self will thank you for. you know, and that is setting that goal, assisting, looking at people that can actually help you to achieve that. But, you know, look at and ensure that the people that you're also dealing with is someone that is credible, someone that is licensed and registered in that field, so that they are accredited and specialise in the area. And this is why it's important going with main agents to ensure that you've been given the best service.
Well, thank you, ladies, for coming to the program. And sa mo malau tapo inga, ya, ol tātou talanoanga lea, ia maua se whale nofo mau mo le ainga. Ia manu e tele lava le whaunga fo le nei vai aso. We'll see you back again next week. Take care and God bless.